The president and vice president back on the road this week trying to rally support for an agenda that's stuck in Congress in a debate over spending levels. This as the president ramps up his meetings with lawmakers.
2 meetings are planned at the White House tomorrow, one with moderates and one with progressives, as Democrats wrestle over the size and scope of a social spending measure prioritized by President Biden.
We're encouraged by the accelerated pace of talks and are eager to get this done.
White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says she is not announcing any new deadlines on the deal leading Democrats want settled by the end of this month.
We are at a point where we feel an urgency to move things forward, and the pickup of meetings is a reflection of that.
A final package will be smaller than the $3.5 trillion Build Back Better plan initially proposed. Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Just getting word, former President Trump is suing the special House committee that's investigating the Capitol riot. In court documents, he's arguing that documents sought by the panel are protected by executive privilege and that the requests are illegal, unfounded, and overbroad. The White House says it doesn't want competition with China to turn into conflict after a report that China denies that it tested a hypersonic missile.
Hypersonic missiles are different than ballistic missiles in the fact that they travel 5 times the speed of sound. They're incredibly fast, also incredibly difficult to detect. You can also maneuver these missiles. That's what makes them much more advanced than the traditional ballistic missiles. We know that according to the Financial Times, they put out a report late Saturday saying that China tested a nuclear-capable hypersonic missile 2 months ago in August. The report goes on to say U.S. intelligence officials were completely caught off guard.
Fox's David Spunt, U.S. intelligence officials are not commenting on that report. America is listening to Fox News.
Is your current home loan the right fit for you? Near historic low rates may be a great reason to refinance, but when matched with an expertly chosen loan from Loan Depot, you could be saving money and paying more towards the bottom line. Call a Loan Depot loan officer and ask about our 27-year Smart Term loan or our 10-year ARM loan. Get a great rate matched with a great loan by calling 866-888-LOAN or visit loandepot.com. At Loan Depot, home means everything. Rates are subject to change. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing opportunity. NMLS number 174457. Licensed in all 50 states.
Here's a fact. COVID hospitalizations of young people have tripled since the start of summer. Also a fact, vaccines are highly effective in preventing hospitalizations and deaths, even from the Delta variant. If you've got questions about COVID vaccines, talk to a doctor, because our kids are irreplaceable. We can do this. Find vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
During a White House event honoring teachers, President Biden also paying tribute to Colin Powell, who made history as the first Black person to hold several U.S. posts, including Joint Chiefs Chair and Secretary of State. Powell died this morning after complications with a breakthrough COVID infection.
This is the guy who we talk about, who had teachers who looked at this African-American kid and said, you can do anything. So all I want to say to you really is don't underestimate what you do.
The president releasing a statement earlier in the day calling Powell a dear friend and a patriot of unmatched honor and dignity. The sentencing for a congressman's friend is pushed back until next year. Joel Greenberg was supposed to learn his fate next month after pleading guilty to sex trafficking and other charges, but the defense requested a delay so the former local tax collector can continue cooperating with federal authorities. And prosecutors didn't object, so today a federal judge in Florida agreed to postpone sentencing until March. Florida Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz was not mentioned in Greenberg's plea deal, but Greenberg's cooperation could play a role in an ongoing investigation into Gaetz. A restaurant chain's uniform change is causing controversy.
Hooters of America says it will make its latest shorts optional for employees following an uproar from workers who say they're too revealing. Viral TikTok videos show servers at the restaurant chain comparing the shorts to underwear, calling them too skimpy or degrading. A rep for the chain says, as we continue to listen and update the image of the Hooters girls, we are clarifying that they have the option to choose from traditional uniforms or the new ones, adding they can determine which style of shorts best fits their body style and personal image.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. Mixed finish on Wall Street. The Dow dropped 36 points. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
We'll have partly cloudy skies through the evening hours with southerly winds between 10 and 25. The winds lighten up tonight, though, between 5 and 15. We'll hit a low in the mid-40s with increasing clouds into Tuesday. It'll give us a mostly cloudy afternoon on Tuesday with a high near 50 and winds out of the northeast between 10 and 20, gusting to 30, and an overnight low of 35. A little cooler on Wednesday with a chance of scattered showers, a high in the mid-40s. From the Flag Skywatch Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Justin Storm.
Private is a proud sponsor of the flag. At Private, we believe money is a tool, not a goal. Let us work with you to create a financial strategy that reflects your priorities and helps you protect the things that matter to you, like family and giving back. This is Dan Vinci, and I'm your local Private professional in the Greater Valley City area. Give me a call at 701-490-1292. That's 701-490-1292.
One more time, got me feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate.
Monday. I want to ask you a couple quick questions here. If you had $100,000, what would you do for $100,000? $100,000. What would you do with that? What would you do with an extra couple $100, extra $200? Here's what I want to know from you today. I want to know your point of view on this. How do you feel about Minnesota Governor Tim Walz wasting, I'm going to prove it to you, wasting your tax dollars to essentially bribe 12 to 17-year-olds to take the COVID shot? We're going to break it all down for you and tell you what's going on in Minnesota. It was just announced today, but they're now bribing 12 to 17-year-olds to come in and take the shot, and they're using your tax dollars to do it. And the worst part is, you and I have been told from day one, follow the science. Follow the science. Well, guess what, folks? It just came out, I think it was last night, this morning. The science shows that bribes don't work when it comes to the shot. Also, interesting story here. We're working on getting to the bottom of it, but is medical discrimination now happening in North Dakota? Is medical discrimination now happening in North Dakota? Welcome to the Chris Berg Show. Yes, this is your oasis of freedom. This is where faith and freedom reign. Would love to hear from you about things over the weekend. Number to call into the show at any time. You just grab your phone and dial 701-271-1100. Again, 701-271-1100. Before we get into any of the stuff with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, speaking about Minnesota, hopefully many of you had a chance to watch some football over the weekend. And it's just the Vikes, they never cease to amaze me. I went over to a friend's house. I've got some family friends. They're heading down to Arizona early before Thanksgiving. So we wanted to get together, celebrate Thanksgiving early. So I get over to the place, and the game's on. Right. So the Vikes are on. We all know that when you get down to the end of a game with the Vikes, you just cross your fingers, say some extra prayers, maybe some Hail Marys, pun intended. Right. So I'm in there, meeting people, chatting with people. And I look over and I'm like, oh man, 28-20. Oh, and there's 51 seconds left. I'm like, this is fantastic. It looks like the Vikes are actually going to pull off a W. They're playing the Panthers. It's an away game. Like, anytime you win an away game in the NFL, that's a big deal. I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. Guy's like, yeah, 51 seconds. Panthers have the ball. It's the Vikes. I'm like, okay, good point. So we watched the rest of the game, and I'm sure as many of you saw, of course, the Panthers drive down the field, score. Not only do they score, they get the 2-point conversion, has to go into overtime. And luckily, our Hail Marys worked. And so now, the Vikes actually picked up a W over the weekend in an away game. So congratulations to the Vikes and Kirk Cousins, but just wanted to have some fun there. If you want to talk some football, I'm always open to that. We're going to get to your phone calls in a minute, Del. I just want to set this up. Again, if you want to call into the show and share your point of view on this, number is 701-271-1100. Here's what's happening, okay? Minnesota Governor Tim Walz today announces kids deserve a shot. Kids deserve a shot. So essentially, the state of Minnesota is using your tax dollars to bribe 12 to 17-year-olds and their parents, of course, to get the COVID shot. And so what they're offering right now is if you go in and you take the shot, you can get a $200 gift card. And then they're going to hold a drawing. They're going to hold a drawing where you could be eligible to win a $100,000 college scholarship. Here's the thing, not just one $100,000 college scholarship, not just two, not just three. No, we're the state of Minnesota. We're like Oprah. We're going to give away $500,000 college scholarships to anybody who's eligible for this to sign up and go ahead and do that. I'm going to get to some of the info here in a moment, but I want to know your point of view and how do you feel about the state of Minnesota using your tax dollars to bribe young kids to get the COVID shot. Here's what's interesting. I was doing some homework on this for you today. And so not only do you go and obviously you've got to sign up to be eligible, right? So I want to share with you the notice of intent if you want to actually put your son or daughter in the mix to potentially win this drawing. And I just think it's fascinating how they language this because you and I have been talking from day one. At times, some of the things that they're doing almost feels like it's a test to see how people are going to respond, how things are going to work. I'm going to get more into that in a moment because of some data, some science that just came out recently about these bribes to take the COVID shot. But so if you want to sign your son or daughter up to win this $100,000 scholarship, here's what it actually says on the Minnesota website. Okay, listen to this closely and think about how many of us now seeing what happens with intelligence and different government bodies with your data. It says notice of intent to collect private data. The Minnesota Department of Health is collecting information from you about your child so you can enter your child into the college scholarship and Minnesota experience drawings. Your child's information is private data under the Minnesota Government Data Practices Act. The Minnesota Department of Health will use the information you provide to verify your child's eligibility for the drawing and to contact you in the event your child is a prize winner. You're not legally required to provide your child's information, but if you don't provide it, the required information, sorry, you can't win. Essentially is what it says, right? Here's what I think is fascinating. So your child's private data, again, I'm trying to keep some levity here to a certain extent because it's Monday, but I think it was almost 2 weeks ago, we got on the show and I said, folks, please pay attention. They are coming for your kids. Because you and I both know, I mean, when people start going after your kids, the mama bears come out, right? The papa bears come out. You're going to do what you got to do to keep your kids safe. And so that will tail into another conversation. So your child's private data, again, we're back on the Minnesota Now website, state of Minnesota's website. Your child's private data will only be shared. Your kids' information will only be shared with Minnesota Department of Health employees and contractors who have a reason to know and other persons or entities as specifically authorized by law. If your child's a winner of the scholarship, MDH may ask for your consent to share your information with the higher education office so that they can contact you for further instructions for the scholarship. They might use you for publicity, yada, yada, yada. But I just think it's fascinating that they are now bribing young kids and families to take the COVID shot. And oh, by the way, we're also going to collect a bunch of data on your kids. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, hey, with the algorithms we have today, with the way they can use data, how they can obviously utilize this data to extrapolate certain things about you and your family. Couple things that are really, really important for you to know. And Del, yes, we are going to get to your phone call, so stay with me here. Couple things that are really, really important to know about when these states, as we've seen, have been bribing people for medical decisions. Because essentially that's what it is, right? I mean, I hate to create the visual, but at times you watch some of these incentive programs and you're like, are these guys just going to show up in like a white van? Hey, little kid, we got $200 gift cards. Come on over here. I mean, it's creepy to me. It's creepy to me that they are trying to lay out these bribe programs to get people to determine or coerce medical decisions. So a couple of things that are important to note about these bribe coercion programs. Number one is this. Back in 2012, and I've talked about this before, but the Department of Justice, the United States DOJ, actually fined Walgreens. They fined Walgreens over $7 million because it suggested that they alleged that Walgreens had offered, listen closely here, it offered government health beneficiaries $25 gift cards when they transferred a prescription from another pharmacy to Walgreens. Now, producer BG is going to get her law degree, so I may actually send this to her and she can take a peek at it. But essentially what the DOJ is saying within this case is it's illegal to bribe people to coerce them to make health decisions. Walgreens was using $25 gift cards. Sound familiar? The state of Minnesota. Inflation, right? In 2012, it was $25. Now with inflation, let's go, Brandon. Now with inflation, let's go, Brandon. Now it's $200 rather than 25. It's 200 bills. So I think somebody could make an argument here that it's actually illegal what these states are doing to coerce people to make different medical decisions than they may make without any sort of bribery. That's point number one. The second point that I want to make to you, and this is, I posted this on our social media sites. I want to remind you, please go check out our social media sites because as you know, unfortunately, this oasis of freedom is only 1 hour a day. But there is a 24/7 oasis of freedom if you go to our Facebook page, our different social media channels, and then we can continue this conversation 24/7. So I posted this earlier up on our social media channels, and I want you to listen closely. This came out, I think, last night. Minnesota Governor Walz comes out with his bribery program for 12 to 17-year-olds today, okay? Here's what this says. This is an article from Axios. And this is a study from JAMA Health Forum, all right? This is science, a study that was done scientifically, right? Follow the science. And this is what it says. None, in other words, zero, nada, zilch, none of the 19 states that implemented a statewide COVID-19 vaccine lotteries this summer saw an increase in vaccination rates as a result of the incentive programs. Zilch, nothing. In fact, it says, compared with states that didn't have vaccine lotteries, the study found that there was essentially zero difference in the vaccination rates of states that held vaccine lotteries and those that did it. That is the JAMA Health Forum study in regards to states bribing people to take the COVID shot. Did not make a difference. Did not make a difference. So now you've got Governor Tim Walz wasting $500,000 plus these gift cards of your taxpayer money to bribe your kids, 12 to 17-year-olds, to take the COVID jab. I have to know your point of view on this. The number to call into the show, 701-271-1100, 701-271-1100. Del, we're going to get to your call when we come back, plus some clips from the presser earlier today that you just need to hear. Stay with us. You're listening to The Chris Berg Show.
Trendspin reminds you that it shouldn't take a television series or a Hollywood movie to know, even here in North Dakota, that home security is now a reality. It's more than just package theft. It's proof in injury claims, lawsuits, surveillance, video and still photos, lighting and audio that can make or break a crime stopped or a lawsuit against you proven in your favor, and possibly a discount in your home or business insurance. Trendspin.com. Trendspin, your go-to for all things technology.
When it's time to put the hammer down, build with Thor. At Thor Buildings, we'll give you a contract up front and guaranteed that price from start to finish. We specialize in post-frame construction. This means it will cost you less than traditional construction. So whether it's commercial, residential, or agriculture, it's important to us to build a quality product at a price you can afford. Let us bring your building project to life. Go online to thorbuildings.com. So when it's time to put the hammer down, build with Thor.
Life is supposed to be noisy. Singing birds, distant chatter, your alarm clock, and loved ones. So when hearing declines, it makes daily life difficult. Hi, I'm Dr. Rose Brecky, owner and audiologist at Heartland Hearing Professionals, and we take your lack of hearing very seriously. We understand how important your sense of hearing is to your quality of life as well as your health and happiness. Find out what we can do for you. Go to heartlandhearingprofessionals.com. Heartland Hearing Professionals, exceptional hearing healthcare for an exceptional life.
What if your business had its own app, expertly designed to provide better service for your customers and more efficient solutions for your employees? At OnSharp, our experts will design, build, test, and launch an app that will help your company overcome its biggest hurdles. We've developed apps for some of the most successful brands in our region, so we know how to get it right the first time. Learn more about the thorough app development process we'll go through for your business at onsharp.com/get-it-right.
If you're in charge of your company's holiday party or event, you want the food to be delicious and the atmosphere to be great. O'Kelly's to the rescue. At O'Kelly's, they can help host a holiday or end-of-year party for $5 to $250, or for any number at your business or event. And they can cater any kind of food. Give them a theme and they'll create the menu. Tell them what food you want and they can make it happen. That's O'Kelly's at the Biltmore Inn just off Interstate 29 and Main Avenue in Fargo. Go online to o'kellysfargo.com.
'Tis the season for client gifting. This year, the elves at Grateful Craples are ready to take the stress of gifting off your shoulders. Just think, no building boxes, no long post office lines. Simply choose your gift set, send us your spreadsheet, and we'll take it from there. We are currently booking 2021 gifting dates. Call Danny at 532-1630, visit us online at gratefulcrapefuls.com, or stop by our showroom at 300 Cheyenne Street in West Fargo today.
That the bribes don't work to incentivize people to take the COVID shot. It's not my money. It's your money. I'm just going to throw it around because I'm the governor and I can throw it around and say, hey, here's 100 for you. Here's 100 G's for you. Here's a couple $100 for you. Go take the shot. Go take the shot. And it doesn't work. It's not effective to raise the numbers. And that's where we may get to it. But most importantly, want to get to your phone calls. I've got some clips here from some of the elected officials or cabinet people in Minnesota that may have you just have your jaw go drop, that we'll get to in a moment. And first, number to call into the show, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the fact that Minnesota Governor Tim Walz laying out some bribes. He wants to give you some bribes to go take the COVID shot, either $100,000 scholarship or a $200 gift card, which, you know what? Hey, you can take the $200 gift card, maybe turn in some Bitcoin. You might have something, but otherwise. So let's get to the phone call. 701-271-1100. Dell from Fargo. Welcome to the show. What's your point of view?
Hey, good afternoon, Chris. You opened my eyes a little bit on the Governor Walz's proposal, or bribe, I guess, as you call it. Kind of appalled by it, to be honest with you. I am a Minnesota resident, but I have business in Fargo. And no, I'm appalled by it, honestly. And COVID, for the most part, does not affect young children to begin with.
Thank you. And I guess
the stats that I've always read.
What I'm curious about is I want to get your feelings on the fact that he's using your tax money to lay out these bribes.
Well, that's a question I have for you. I guess, do we know for sure it's tax money, or is it some of this federal COVID dollars that came in?
Well, either way, you and I are paying for it, right? It may be federal, but, you know, you and I are paying for it in some way, shape, or form. So, yes.
Yeah, but there's different stipulations on money that comes into the state through taxpayers versus money that comes from the federal government from taxpayers.
Fair.
What I really wanted to call in for is the end of September. I have a contracting business in Fargo. We take care of building inside and out. And on the 28th of September, I got an email from one of our clients that said all of their vendors will now be required to be vaccinated, and or no entry into the building. So I sent a quick email response back saying I'm in North Dakota. employer, and it is illegal, it is unlawful for me to force any medical procedure on my employees, number one. Number two, it's illegal for me to even ask if they've had a vaccine because that goes against HIPAA law. So I told them to remove us from their vendor list. I cannot comply with what they're asking for. I gave up about $10,000 to $15,000 a year in business.
Wow.
Now, was that a bribe? Was that a bribe for them to come at me with that? Is that a bribe as well?
Well, I think you've got the carrot and the stick,
So
right?
I told them to go pound sand. I'm not putting up with that. I cannot legally tell my employees to go get a shot. You know, what's the next thing? Everybody's got to cut off their little finger because this guy did it. Or you gotta have to use an eye patch because this guy only has one eye.
I mean,
so everybody else has to have the same disadvantage. It's just, where is it going to end?
Thank you. And you are saying exactly what Dr. Robert Malone tweeted out a while ago. And I hate to say this, so these are his words, not mine. But Dr. Robert Malone, the creator of the mRNA technology, actually tweeted out and said, guys, I'm not for mandates. I'm pro-vaccine. I'm not for mandates. Where does it stop? He talked about, hey, so are we eventually going to say that, this is what he said, people need to get castrated? So everyone, I mean, he was obviously going in the ridiculous place, but he was trying to make a point. And Del, if you don't mind, I think there's many people listening that will commend you for what you're doing. So just to give you a shameless plug for your business, what's your business? What kind of clients you're looking for?
I can talk to you about that later. I actually advertise with you guys, and my voice is probably recognizable enough where some are going to know anyway. But I actually have 4 different businesses in Fargo, and I'm not going to subject my employees to that kind of ridiculousness, number one. And number two, it's against the law. Now, after I sent that email back, the only response that I got back was, we will remove you from the list. Thank you for your quick response. So they don't even care. They really don't care.
They don't, because they got the carrot and the stick, right? And so there's the bribes that you see here from Governor Walz, and then you've got the stick, which is Joe Biden saying, hey, if you do not comply, then I'm going to find you either $17,000 or now they're talking about $700,000. So that's why he's coercing, using the stick against some of these big companies, especially if you've got over 100 employees. And that's where it's up to you and I to say, hey, I will not comply. I understand if you're a big business. I understand if you've got over 100 employees. And if people do not comply, what's Biden going to do? Are you seeing what's happening off Long Beach right now? Do you think it's going to bode well for Joe Biden? No. See inflation? Is that going to bode well for Joe Biden? No. That's why you hear all across the country now, whether it's college football games, NASCAR races, heck, it's probably even in some of Joe Biden's speeches, people chanting, let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. All right, let's get to producer BG, because she's got a story as well about some bribes that are happening on MSUM's campus. Producer BG, happy Monday.
Hi, happy Monday.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm phenomenal, other than the fact that Governor Walz is using people's taxpayer money to do some bribes, and they don't seem to work. So I guess what's happening at MSUM, I know we've got 90 seconds here, so if we want to hit this on the other side, we can do that. And are people talking about it? Is it effective bribe? Because when you're in college, you typically don't have a lot of money. So is it getting people to say, oh, I'll go get the shot?
I would actually say yes, just out of ease of access to getting the shot. On college campuses, at most just larger events for students like student organization or job fairs, there's a little booth there where you can go and get your COVID shot. And at MSUM, if you provide your proof of vaccination, you get entered into a weekly drawing, and they pick, I believe, 10 winners every week they win $500, just like that.
Whoa. Wait a second. So every week, MSUM is dropping 5 Gs.
Yeah.
For people that get the shot.
$500.
No, but 10 times 5 is $5,000,
that way,
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Big money here.
So aren't you and I always told that the cost of a college education is just way too expensive these days?
Mm-hmm. And what I honestly find a little funny and ironic about it is, like, where was this money in terms of like scholarships for other years and actual things that would help students? So that's kind of my 2 cents on it.
You read my mind. We will continue this conversation when we come back, because what if this 100G could be used to actually incentivize a young man or young woman that's in poverty or in a bad area and wants to go get a college education and couldn't before, but could use the $100,000. Stick around. Much more coming up right after
I'm
this.
Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks finished mixed as inflation fears remained in focus and as investors look ahead to a busy week of third quarter earnings results. The Dow falling 36 points, the Nasdaq up 124, S&P 500 up 15. Shares of Apple rose around 1% after the tech giant held a virtual event announcing new Mac personal computers featuring the company's custom chips and an upgraded set of AirPods. Apple also updated its $99 Home Pro mini smart speaker lineup, and the company also launched a new voice-only Apple Music subscription plan, and Toyota is planning to build a new billion-dollar battery plant in the U.S. as the Japanese automaker ramps up development and production of the key components needed for hybrid and electric vehicles. A spokesperson for the automaker declined to name the location of the new plant, but said the company would likely reveal it by the end of this year. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
What can give you a competitive edge in today's red-hot housing market? Rocket can. That's because Rocket Mortgage can give you a verified approval. It could help your offer stand out. Rocket Technology provides a rock-solid verification of your income, assets, and credit, giving sellers greater confidence in you. Go to rocketmortgage.com or call us today at 8338-ROCKET.
A verified approval is based on an underwriter's analysis of your individual financial information, appraisal, and title report. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org.
We'll have partly cloudy skies through the evening hours with southerly winds between 10 and 25. The winds lighten up tonight, though, between 5 and 15. We'll hit a low in the mid-40s with increasing clouds into Tuesday. It'll give us a mostly cloudy afternoon on Tuesday with a high near 50 and winds out of the northeast between 10 and 20, gusting to 30, and an overnight low of 35. A little cooler on Wednesday with a chance of scattered showers, a high in the mid-40s. From the Flag Skywatch Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Justin Storm.
There are a million reasons to love a pet, and a million more to love a shelter pet. During the month of October, Muscatel Subaru has teamed up with Homeward Animal Shelter of Fargo to find forever homes for shelter pets by donating $100 each day of the month toward pet adoption fees. Having Muscatel Subaru help with adoption fees makes this a great time to consider adopting a four-legged companion. Go to homewardonline.org to see available pets and to make an appointment today.
Hey, are you waiting just like me for the big news about President Trump's big announcement? Well, Newsmax has been one step ahead of the big media on Trump's next big move. That's why I go to Newsmax.com for breaking news. I also watch Newsmax TV at home or on the free Newsmax app on my phone. It's great. And I even get Newsmax magazine. That's right, Newsmax has a monthly magazine with writers like Bill O'Reilly, Ben Stein, Dr. Laura, and the real news you can't find anywhere else. The media won't tell you about Biden's radical agenda. Newsmax will. Newsmax magazine has over 700,000 monthly readers. And now it has a great offer for you. Sign up today and Newsmax will give you a free emergency radio worth $30. Federal agencies say every family should have an emergency radio. These days, you really need an emergency radio. So get it free with Newsmax magazine. Just call 1-800-NEWSMAX. That's 800-NEWSMAX. And get the emergency radio free today and watch Newsmax TV.
Ready to remodel or build? The Home Authority and its sister companies have you covered. We are the region's one-stop shop offering general contracting, custom cabinets, interior design, home furnishings, and custom coatings, guiding you through the entire process of transforming your home or building your dream home. The Authority Company's new showroom is now open at 2821 Highway 10 East in Moorhead. Learn more at homeauthorityinc.com. We are open Monday through Friday from 10 to 6 or by appointment. You'll see us completing the finishing touches on the showroom this summer. So pardon our dust, remodel we must. It's what we do.
Hi, Jeff from Cutting Edge, and folks, guess what? We have secured a great parcel of diamonds. There are rounds, ovals, radiants, pear shapes, marquees, cushions, every shape you can imagine. And we got a tremendous deal. So that means we're passing it on to you. Come to a Cutting Edge where you're going to save more money than you ever have before on the best diamonds in the world. A Cutting Edge, 4507 33rd Avenue South, right here in Fargo.
the Earl of Sandwich would love the new Witch Witch, the superior sandwich shop on 32nd Avenue in Fargo. It's unlike any signature sandwich shop in the area, with all your favorites, like the Club Witch, the Cheeseburger Witch, plus menu items you've never heard of. Enjoy the Cali Club or the Garden Party. There's vegan, vegetarian, and gluten-free. Can't decide on which witch? Put it in a bowl, Witch. Witch Witch, the superior sandwich shop on 32nd Avenue, Fargo.
Welcome back to the Chris Berg Show. Thank you so much for being with us on this Monday afternoon. Number to call into the show, 701-271-1100, 701-271-1100. You can share your point of view about anything. This show is your show. You and I created together. We happen to be talking about the fact that Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is now using your tax money to bribe the 12 to 17-year-olds to take the COVID shot. So would love to know your point of view on that, on the fact that your money is being used to now bribe young people to take the shot with either Visa gift cards, $100,000 scholarships. We're going to touch on that more in just a moment. Also, is medical discrimination happening now in North Dakota? Last week, we kicked off the Chris Berg Show tip line. We got a tip today. I'm going to play some of that for you when we have a moment to do so. And we're working now with a hospital to confirm or deny the story. We were going to have the person on, but I just want to play the voicemail for you later so you can hear what that person shared and then give you an idea of how we can go to work for you, right? The old Jerry Maguire saying, help us, help you. You tell us what's going on. We'll go to work, uncover stuff, and then help you get to the bottom of it. So if you've got a tip that you think you want us to look into, the number is easy. It's 855 200-1776, extension 6, 855-200-1776, extension 6, or just email super producer Chris Larson, chris.larson@flagfamily.com. Again, chris.larson, excuse me, at flagfamily.com. I want to play a couple comments for you. We're going to get back to what producer BG was saying there about MSUM, but also some comments from some people within the Walz administration in regards to these incentives that I think will make your jaw drop. Before we get to that, I want to talk to you about flat rate fee, saving thousands of dollars for you over at James Patrick Real Estate. Want to invite you to check them out online because they've got this phenomenal program where they, number one, it's this like listing comparison fee. You can go on their website, you can look. Hey, if I go sell my house for, let's say, 250 grand, or let's say, for example, you're going to sell it for 475 grand, no matter what you sell your house for, the listing fee is the exact same. It's $3,500, whether it's 250 grand or $475,000. So let me give you a simple theoretical and hypothetical example. If they were to sell your home for you for 475 grand, they would actually save you over $10,000 in the listing fee. $10,000. It's kind of a nice vacation. So go check them out online. Again, that's James Patrick Real Estate. Honest advice, proven results. Do we have a caller on the line, producer BG? I apologize because I'm trying to get to some sound bites here, so I can't see everything at once. But as always, we want to defer to you, our phone call. So let's go to Bruce from Lake Park. Bruce, welcome to the show. What's your point of view?
Well, Chris, Governor Walz is bribing these kids so they can get the COVID shot along with their parents. And I'm going, that's the way the Democratic Party operates. They got to give people money so that way they can vote Democrat.
I think there's many people that may agree with that assessment, and that's why I read earlier, and I was talking about the data collection piece. Look, I know it's with the Minnesota Department of Health. They want to tell you, hey, there's nothing going to be political here, but the way data flies around these days, who knows? Who knows that they're going to utilize that data? I know there's times you've got to give your data into different places, but It's just something to consider as you're thinking about these programs. I want to play a couple clips for you. And again, number to call into the show. Would love to know your point of view on the fact that Governor Tim Walz using your tax dollars to essentially bribe you and your kids to take the COVID shot. I think the most challenging piece for me, again, because you and I are told, hey, follow the science, right? Follow the science. The science is telling us that the bribes don't work. The bribes are not an effective strategy to get people to take the COVID shot. So here's the Minnesota Department of Health Commissioner, Jan Malcolm, and listen closely to the end of this clip. I'm telling you, they're coming for the kids. I've been playing clips for you where you had the Secretary of Education not able to admit that, yes, the person that should have the paramount decision-making power over your kids is the parents. He could not come out and forthright admit that. Here's what Ms. Malcolm had to say.
All the things we've been talking about, the pressures on the where we are at this moment in time in the pandemic, this is a wonderful addition to the toolkit to really encourage that cohort of 12 to 17-year-olds, and eventually, very soon, we hope, will be in the 5 to 11 group.
Whoa. Okay. Very soon, we hope to be in that 5 to 11 group. What does that say to you? What does that say to you when you hear the Minnesota Department of Health person saying, hey, and very soon we're going to be in that 5 to 11 group? Basically, what that tells me is it's going to be a rubber stamp with the FDA. Even after, and I wish I had the clip at my fingertips, I don't right now, but even after we had played for you the big, long 8-hour FDA booster meeting, right? And they had all these doctors and health experts that were coming on the line. They were testifying on the FDA booster shot event. And even after you had doctors on there saying there is no reason, there's absolutely no reason for kids to take this shot because we don't have enough longitudinal studies. Things are building up in the ovaries and the testes. There is no reason for these kids to take the shot. Have you heard that anywhere? I may see if I can find that clip for you when we come back from breaks. I know I've got it somewhere, but have you heard that anywhere in the news with a health expert, a doctor suggesting that there's no reason for kids to do that? Because I haven't. Because all you're going to hear from the mainstream media is the fact the FDA or that you've got Pfizer and Moderna asking for this thing to get approved. And when I hear Jan Malcolm say, hey, pretty soon it's going to be the 5 to 11-year-olds, what that tells me is it's going to be a rubber stamp. It's going to be a rubber stamp. Now, as I've been setting this up for you, I want to share with you, his name is Mr. Olson. Super producer Chris Larson is done. Okay, so Minnesota Higher Ed Commissioner Dennis Olson, apparently we've got a clip from him that I want to play for you in a moment. And the reason I want to play this for you is, again, nobody's perfect. Okay, so I'm going to give this gentleman the benefit of the doubt. Nobody's perfect when it comes and you're trying to do things off the top of your head. I get that. But I also just want to remind you that we're talking about your kids. Your kids. Follow the science. I just laid out for you. There's a study from the JAMA Health Forum that comes out and says these bribes have done absolutely zilch and nada, nothing when it comes to increasing vaccination rates in the states that have utilized them. Okay, that's the JAMA Health Forum study that they did, saying there was zero difference from the states that used these bribes versus the states that didn't. Now, here's the Minnesota Education Commissioner, and I hope I've got the right one set up here. If I don't, I apologize. I'll get to it, but here it is.
I know the focus of the conversation today is on the incentives, but the overall impacts of this, that we'll have on the increasing number of vaccinated students is and should be the real focus here.
Let me just repeat that for you so you can hear what this gentleman has to say.
But the overall impacts of this, that we'll have on the increasing number of vaccinated students is and should be the real focus here.
And maybe it'll bear out to be different in 12 to 17-year-olds. Maybe. All I know is that in Ohio, they were giving out $1 million. $1 million. And then if you were 12 to 17, it was a free 4-year degree. And according to the JAMA Health Forum, that had zero impact. Zilch, nada, nothing, had zero impact in actually increasing vaccination rates within the state of Ohio. So here's the Minnesota Education Commissioner suggesting that, hey, I understand it's on the incentives, but the most important thing is how can we move the needle when it comes to increasing vaccination rates? And it doesn't work, sir. It's been proven not to work. So let's go to Your phone calls here if you want to call into the show. And then producer BG, I want to wrap up what's going on in MSUM. But number to call into the show, 701-271-1100, 701-271-1100. Love to know your thoughts on Governor Walz using your money to bribe 12 to 17-year-olds to take the COVID shot. And then when we come back, because maybe someone's got a story out there, has anybody been medically discriminated against yet in our community because maybe you wouldn't take a test, haven't gotten the COVID shot? Would love to know your story there. So producer BG, what do you have for us in regards to MSUM, please?
Pretty much what's going on is they're giving out kind of incentivizing $500 a week for students to prove that they're vaccinated. Now, this comes after a big push from, federal. They want college kids specifically vaccinated because you typically travel for college. So that's kind of the theory behind this. But kind of my angle of it is, where was this money before? Why are we giving out, scholarships based on random chance instead of merit, especially, for educational purposes?
Yeah, exactly. I love the fact that you're using the word merit, because that's a word that doesn't get used a lot anymore these days. The old idea of meritocracy, that's what makes America great, is merit. So I think you brought up a great point. The fact that they're dropping, do you have any idea how many weeks they're going to be doing this program?
I believe 4. I'm not for certain on that, but I believe it's 4 weeks.
I mean, that's 20 G's. What's it cost a year to go to MSUM?
I'd say about 15 a semester, so 30 a year.
Okay. So there you have it. They're using the bribes at MSUM as well. Would love to know your point of view on that. The fact that they're basically spending, she said, $500 per person, 10 people per week, ends up being $5,000 a week to bribe college students to come and take the shot. Good idea? Bad idea? Please share your point of view with us. All right, when we come back, we did have somebody call into the Chris Berg Show tip line. I want to play that for you just to give you an idea of what this person called. We went to work. We've been trying to find out more information about it. So I don't want to say, hey, this is 100% verified. The point is just to share with you, hey, this is how we can go to work for you if you feel like there's some situation, something that you want some help with. The number to call in for our tip line, I'm going to give it out real quick, 855-200-1776. Again, 855-200-1776, extension 6. You just call there, tell us what's up. We will go to work for you. Email chris.larson@flagfamily.com. This is the Chris Berg Show. Stick around. We got much more coming up right after this.
It's all in your head, dear.
You think I'm making this up?
No, I'm trying to tell you, it's all in your head.
It hurts.
It's all in your head, and that's why you're missing work, the kids' ball games, and those good nights of sleep you used to get. Those migraines are why you're not much fun to be around these days.
Oh, it is all in my head.
If you suffer from migraines, you know you're missing out on a lot. It's not just your head that's hurting, it's the people closest to you. Stop missing out on all the good things and good times life has to offer. Go to renewmedicalpainclinic.com.
Matthew Carlson, owner of Fix It Ford Auto Care, is here. Matthew, it's fall. People get busy. What are some things people need to know as we get closer to cold weather?
Well, the first thing, as always, you want to make sure you're staying on top of your maintenance, that you're having your car inspected to make sure that your tires are good, your battery's good. But this year, it's a little bit different. If you're thinking you want to get tires before winter, tire prices are going up for some manufacturers significantly, and tire availability is not very good. So if you're looking at getting tires and you want to get the best possible deals, you want to get in as quick as possible and don't wait till the last minute, or the only ones that are going to be left are going to be the more expensive ones. We'll meet or beat all competitors' pricing, and we can get any brand tires you want.
Matthew, many of our listeners are parents that have students going to school, MSUM, Concordia, and DSU. What do you want them to know about those vehicles that need some work done?
Well, we know that it's really difficult for college students when they have transportation problems, but we really focus on communication. So we have the convenience of text-based estimates and payments, so that if a student brings their car in and the parent wants to know what's going on, wants to be able to see that, they can just text that to the parent, they can read it, the parents can approve it, and the parents can actually pay for it over their phone. We work hard to keep our shop safe and clean, and you can trust us to work on your car like it was our own kid's car.
And the college ID gets you $20 off oil change, too.
Every time.
Fix It Ford Auto Care, 2nd Avenue, Moorhead, 52nd Avenue, South Fargo. Their team is unique, trustworthy, driven to serve. You can get your vehicle worked on knowing you're helping others in need, too. Find out more online at fixitfordautocare.com, fixitfordautocare.com.
'Tis the season for client gifting. This year, the elves at Grateful Craples are ready to take the stress of gifting off your shoulders. Just think, no building boxes, no long post office lines. Simply choose your gift set, send us your spreadsheet, and we'll take it from there. We are currently booking 2021 gifting dates. Call Danny at 532-1630, visit us online at gratefulcrapefuls.com, or stop by our showroom at 300 Cheyenne Street in West Fargo today.
From the kennel to the coop, whatever the season, Fleet Farm has everything to keep your animals happy and healthy. From training your pup to sit season, to mastering those retrieval skills season. From clipping your horse for competition season, to keeping the backyard birds well-fed season. And of course, loving your pets like family season. There's a reason people say, if Fleet Farm doesn't have it, you don't need it. Because we have it all. Fleet Farm, built for real life.
Welcome back to the Chris Berg Show. Thank you so much for joining us here on this Monday afternoon. Number to call into the show and share your point of view, 701-271-1100, 701-271-1100. So I'm going to get to the clip from the gentleman that said absolutely no shots for kids in a moment. He was part of the 8-hour FDA booster hearing. So he's considered an expert. He was invited to be on this call. I want you to listen closely to what he has to say. First, though, we just kicked off the Chris Berg Show tip line. I think it was last week, I believe. So, again, help us help you. If you've got something that you want us to look into, please let us know. We will go to work for you. The number for the tip line is very easy. It's 855-200-1776. Again, 855-200-1776. Just go to extension 6. Or you can just email chris.larson@flagfamily.com, chris.larson@flagfamily.com. So I want to play a voicemail we got for you. And I'm going to set this up correctly, okay, to be fair to everybody. It's a voicemail that we got. This person does not want to use their name. I spoke to this person. They did give me some specifics that would lead me to believe the story is true. But again, we have not confirmed this with Sanford. So I do want to give Sanford the benefit of the doubt until we do get an actual statement, a report back from them. I invited this person on the show, meaning this person you're going to hear in a moment on the show today. But I get it. People out there, the health system is powerful, right? So it's easy to make people go, gosh, I don't know if I want to speak up and speak out. So we want to respect people's choices there. And I also just want to play this for you to show how we can go to work for you, number one. But secondly, if anybody else has a story similar to this, please let us know so that we can go to work for you. So just for clarity, we have not confirmed the story 100% to be true and accurate. I just want you to know that, but I do want to play it for you just to give you an idea of how we can help you. And if anyone else has a similar story, let us know.
Yes, I have. I'm calling about an experience my husband and I had at the Sanford University walk-in clinic yesterday morning, and the nurse practitioner she refused us help or treatment. He was, because we wouldn't get vaccinated or let her test us. We were worried about my husband's bronchitis, and she said she probably thought he needed a chest x-ray, but she wouldn't do it until we let her test him. And it was real frustrating. We sat in there for 3 hours, and then she said she was going to turn us into the state health authorities. It did make a bit of sense. So I just want to report that.
So there you go. There's the Chris Berg Show tip line. We invite you to help us help you. And I want to know if anyone else has any stories out there where you're walking in. This person that they had seen was a nurse practitioner, clearly saw that this gentleman needed some work done, needed some health care, and yet was being denied because he would not take a test or didn't have the shot, and was requesting that in order to see that person. Now, even if he took the shot right there, my understanding is it takes 2 weeks for it to quote unquote take effect anyway. So I don't fully understand that. Again, that's why I'm just prefacing everything here to be delicate. Most importantly, to share with you, hey, let us know how we can serve you. Jay, we're going to get to your call here in just a moment because I did promise everybody that I was going to play this clip from Dr. Paul Alexander. Again, this is the 8-hour FDA booster shot hearing that was back in the middle of September. Here we are today talking about the state of Minnesota using your money. Using your money to bribe 12 to 17-year-olds to get the COVID shot. Here's what Dr. Paul Alexander has to say about some of this.
Under no condition, none, zero, based on the evidence today, must children be indicated for these vaccines. There is no risk to children, no statistical zero in terms of spreading and in terms of getting serious illness or dying from this. Dr. Martin Makary at Johns Hopkins, they looked at all of the data. Hello?
Yeah, we're out of time, sir.
Okay, thank you.
You can wrap it up.
Yes, we looked at the children in America that have died, and we found that save one, these children had at least one severe illness. So the reality is COVID is not a life-ending, life-threatening situation for children. Right now, the CDC and the NIH have not prosecuted the case as to why these children should be vaccinated, period. I say do not do this, and I beg your consideration. Thank you.
The CDC and the NIH have not proven that children, now he might be talking 5 to 11. I don't know the exact numbers, but I just shared with you Jan Malcolm, the head of the Minnesota Department of Health, saying, hey, we're coming for you. Here we come, right? 5 to 11-year-olds. Just wait. I don't know how we're going to bribe you yet. Are we going to take you to the Mall of America Park, or what are we going to do there? Are we going to give you free tickets for that deal? I don't know. All I'm asking you to is to be aware, because they are coming. We got 2 minutes left. Of course, we want to get to our phone calls, and we've got Jay from Crookston on the line. Jay, great to have you with us here on the Chris Berg Show. What's your point of view, sir?
Well, I think bribing teaches our kids a bad message. The way we bribe our kids is, okay, if you split this wood, I will reward you in this way. It's not, you get something for, you're not earning it. You're pushing my agenda ahead. I just think it's wrong. It sends a wrong message.
Jay, thank you for the phone call. Appreciate it as always. We are going to be wrapping things up here because unfortunately we only have an hour of our oasis of freedom where faith and freedom reign. But thank you very much for the phone call. And again, please put the number in your phone and just call in anytime from 4 to 5. The number is very easy, 701-271-1100. Again, 701-271-1100. Because the show's only an hour, we've got the conversation going 24/7 on our social media channels. And so I want to invite you to go to the Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Chris Berg Show. Share it with your family and friends. Or you can follow me on Twitter at Chris Berg POV. Now, I say this because we just simply don't have enough time to get to everything. And I'll give you a prime example. I've got posted up on our Facebook page right now the North Dakota test assessment scores from 2016 through 2021. We talked about these recently from 2020, 2021, and how abysmal and embarrassing the scores are. Wait till you see some of the prior years. Again, it's facebook.com/Chris Berg Show. Also, a very special guest from Busick and Associates joining us tomorrow, talking about the great things happening in North Dakota. I'm Chris Berg. Thanks for joining us. I love you. Have a great rest of your Monday. We'll see you back here tomorrow afternoon.